If you were stuck in a time loop, what would you do first? Wu Chen's answer: act like the luckiest bastard alive. Money resets, consequences vanish, every day a new party. He lived each reset like a billionaire's wildest dream. But this power fantasy hides a dark truth. When he realized none of it mattered, where did he turn next? Pleasure got boring, so he chased bigger thrills. Casinos? Cleared them. Gunfights? Easy mode. He lived each day like the climax of an action movie, knowing tomorrow would be a clean slate. Yet this invincibility was the ultimate curse. No matter how epic yesterday was, today it's all gone. Endless repetition bred a soul-crushing emptiness. He's tried to escape. Jumped, drowned, shot himself. No use. Every morning at 7 a.m., he wakes up, unharmed, on July 7th, 2020. The loop's only destination is pure nothingness, an inability to even die. But now, drinking a beverage while gazing at a watch fixed on 7 a.m., he declares he's lived 1,000 years. And today, something feels different. The door of his eternal prison might finally be opening. The first night after his millennial loop ends, Wu Chen walks into a bar. His opening line to a brunette he approaches: "I've been stuck on this day for 1,000 years." Her reaction? A major eye roll, mentally filing this under tired pickup lines. Who buys that science fiction nonsense? But Wu Chen grins. For him, it's not a line. It was his exhausting reality. A reality he thought would last forever. Free from a 1,000-year time loop, Wu Chen's first move is straight into the bar, looking for the woman he saw after breaking the cycle. He opens with a bombshell: "Hey, I've been trapped in this same day for 1,000 years." Look at her face. She's utterly dumbfounded. She's probably thinking, "I've heard every pickup line in the book, but this 1,000-year-old man bit is a whole new level of absurd." But Wu Chen doesn't care. For him, tomorrow is a myth. Everything will reset anyway. So tonight, he's untouchable. You think he's just spouting nonsense? Think again. He starts making predictions with pinpoint accuracy. The woman is wondering why her bestie still isn't showing up. Wu Chen leans in and whispers from behind, "She's not coming." She whips around, shocked. How could he know? With a knowing smile, he not only knows she won't come, he can tell her when the call explaining it will arrive, down to the minute and second. Just as she's caught between doubt and disbelief, asterisk ring. Asterisk the phone call arrives, right on schedule. That single moment completely shatters her initial skepticism. Crisis temporarily averted, Wu Chen escorts the shaken beauty away. But you think saving the day leads to a peaceful night? Think again. Trouble is just warming up. Wu Chen finds out the hard way that the red supercar he borrowed belongs to Wang Zhuangyuan, the right-hand man and chief enforcer for Li Ruotai, the young master who rules the city's underworld on his sister's behalf. He's ruthless and holds a grudge. Soon enough, fury is pounding and shouts echo at the door. "Wu Chen, get your ass out here. You stole my car and dare to use the Li family's name." Wang Zhuangyuan's men have tracked them down. Outside is a mob ready to tear the place apart. Inside, just a man, a woman, and a stolen supercar. The tension just went through the roof. All right, things just took a turn. She's barely done talking to her flaky friend when a gangster with a ridiculous haircut steps up, thinking he can intimidate her. Too bad for him, Wu Chen isn't the kind of guy who lets that slide. And in the very next moment, before the creep can even make contact, BAM, Wu Chen moves. It's not just fast, it's uncanny. He predicts the move, intercepts it, and sends the punk's hand flying. This isn't a bar fight. It's a masterclass in humiliation. The gangster is stunned, sweat pouring. His brain is probably short-circuiting. He predicted my prediction? Yeah, buddy. Going up against a guy who spent a literal millennium fine-tuning every possible move? You brought a knife to a time-bending apocalypse. He still doesn't get it, throwing a wild punch in desperation. Pathetic. Wu Chen doesn't even fully face him. A subtle shift of his stance is enough. Dodge. 1,000 years of muscle memory makes this slugfest look like a slow-motion replay full of openings. Enough games. A cold glint in Wu Chen's eye, and in a blink, he launches a casual yet brutal counter. The gangster is launched like a ragdoll across the room, crashing to the floor. The whole place freezes. What the hell just happened? Exactly. That's what happens when you poke a god. They thought they could take him down. In a blur of motion, Wu Chen didn't just fight back. He dismantled the entire group. The lead thug was left trembling, frantically dialing his boss, Wang Zhuangyuan, to report the impossible, that some guy stole the boss's car and had the audacity to drop Mr. Li's name. On the other end of the line was Wang Zhuangyuan, the notoriously ruthless right-hand man of Li Ruotai. The sheer rage in his voice was palpable, promising nothing but lethal retribution for the stolen car and the stolen prestige. But Wu Chun, a man who had seen it all, was waiting for exactly this call. He snatched the phone. His voice was chillingly casual as he dropped a bomb. How are the preparations for the main meeting going? That single sentence froze Wang Zhuangyuan's blood. Stunned silence echoed on both ends. How did this guy in pajamas know their most closely guarded secret? In a surprisingly good mood, Wu Chun simply made the terrified gangsters apologize before sending them packing. The tense standoff evaporated, leaving only him and a completely shell-shocked woman. And then, right on cue ring, her phone lit up. Caller ID, her best friend. The exact person at the exact moment Wu Chun had casually predicted seconds ago. Her hand trembled as she answered. The look she gave him now shifted from skepticism to pure, bone-deep terror and awe. The phone rings exactly at 10 p.m. Every word her best friend says about her boyfriend coming home is a perfect match to Wu Chen's prediction. Li Ruobing's reality shatters. It wasn't luck, he knew. As she stares at this strange man in pajamas, her shock melts into sheer awe. Wu Chun, with a knowing smirk, offers her a ride home. His hook is firmly set. In the dimly lit garage, Li Ruobing sees the flashy red sports car and thinks she has him pegged, a rich playboy. With a flicker of her old haughtiness, she asks, "Is this yours?" His answer shatters that illusion. Nope. Stole it. A car thief. The Ashi felt moments ago teeters on the edge of disbelief. She's utterly speechless. Li Ruobing exprudas. She rails at him for stealing the car. But Wu Chun is utterly unfazed, casually mentioning it'll be back tomorrow anyway. Furious and a bit scared, she tries to guilt-trip him. You won't leave a drunk and hot woman alone, right? His counter is a verbal nuke. Sorry, I'm not interested in a woman who uses a shit ton of makeup to look pretty. It's a direct, savage hit to her pride. An uneasy silence fills the ride. When the car stops in front of her iconic mansion, Wu Chun states her address without even glancing at a map. Li Ruobing's blood runs cold. She whirls on him. How do you know where I live? You are lying. But Wu Chun just smiles. The venom is gone. He reaches out and gently wipes away the smudged lipstick from her furious mouth with a tissue. The intimate gesture leaves her frozen, a flush warming her cheeks. From shame or anger, she can't tell. With the lipstick gone, Wu Chen's calm control returns. He drops an even more provocative offer. Want to go to my place so I can prove I ain't lying? Don't worry, the bed is pretty big. It's a blatant challenge. Li Ruobing jolts back to her senses, rage overriding everything else. She hisses a final warning. If you try anything, I'll call the police. Wu Chen merely smiles at her bristling defiance, then hits the gas. The red sports car peels away into the night, leaving the furious heiress standing alone on her own doorstep. Virum. Late night, Wu Chun power slides that stolen red sports car to get the woman home. But he's playing with fire, casually admitting he stole the car. The woman's fuming, but the real shock hits when he drops her address, without her saying a word. How does he know? Wu Chun just shrugs it off, even has the nerve to invite her to his place to prove he's telling the truth. Yeah, that gets shut down hard. He peels off into the night, the stolen wheels and a deeply unsettled woman left in his wake. Morning sun. Another loop? The room is quiet except for dripping water, the chatter of birds outside eerily familiar. It feels like nothing has changed, but there's a tension in the air. Is this the calm before the storm? Or has someone already knocked on the door to end this endless cycle for good? Wu Chen wakes up, just like he has for 1,000 years. He sits up, rubs his temples. Empty bed, hollow feeling. Was last night just another beautiful phantom, doomed to vanish at dawn? The crushing weight of the same day washes over him once more. Suddenly, a voice that shouldn't be here. Hey! Wu Chen's head snaps up. Her, the woman from last night. Li Ruobing, wrapped in a towel, hair dripping. She's standing in his room. She's not supposed to exist now. Her eyes are daggers as she thrusts a phone in his face. Didn't you say the day kept repeating? The date on the screen is undeniable. Now explain, why is today July 8th? The loop is shattered. This is a world-shaking shift, one even a man trapped in time didn't see coming. July 8th. Those words hit Wu Chun like a thunderbolt. He bolts upright in bed. No way. He looks at the phone in her death grip, then at his digital clock, all confirming the impossible. The date has changed. The curse is broken. The transparent cage that held him for a millennium has just shattered into a million pieces. And standing right there, Li Ruobing, stone-faced, demanding, dripping wet, is the living, undeniable proof. She is the first witness to his freedom. Li Ruobing's furious confrontation takes an unexpected turn. Finding Wu Chun isn't the problem. Figuring out what he is becomes the real mystery. As the water runs, Wu Chun delivers a chilling realization. This isn't a dream. The flow of time itself has been restored. 1,000 years, a millennium of being trapped. At long last, he breaks free. Watch as he reclaims the night sky, laughter echoing the sheer, unbridled release of a soul finally unchained. The world has no idea what's about to come. This is the reward. Breaking the loop was just the key. Now, the true power awakens. The time reincarnation system activates, and with it, Wu Chun realizes those 1,000 years weren't a punishment. They were a trial by fire. The status panel drops the ultimate truth bomb. 1,000 years of grinding? That's 1354 skills, all maxed out. But the game changer is the time reset function. A daily save point? He just became the author of his own destiny. The playing field is no longer level. 1,000-year time loop wasn't just endless torture for Wu Chun. It was a forge of power. Once an ordinary student with nothing to his name, he's now anything but normal. Street racing, master chef, fighting grandmaster, marksman extraordinaire, you name it, he's got it. 1,354 near-max level abilities are his hard-earned reward from a millennium of repetition. Trapped in time before, he's now its master. There's a world of difference between being forced to reset and choosing to do it yourself. Li Ruobing never imagined walking in on this scene. There's Wu Chun in her bathroom, calmly drying himself off with a towel, his muscular torso on full display. "So, are you all right?" she asks awkwardly. But Wu Chun just closes his eyes with a blissful smile, claiming it's the best day he's had in 1,000 years. That just pushes her over the edge, tears of sheer frustration in her eyes as she snaps. "Will you insist on that shit?" It's clear the mind of a time master doesn't quite work like a normal person's. The angry pursuers are already at the door. The violent bang, bang, sounds like a death knell. "Open the door. Damn it. How dare you steal our boss's car? You're a dead man." Li Ruobing presses herself against the door, eyes wide with fear at the shouting and pounding outside. Wu Chun, he just calmly tells her today is indeed unlucky. Then Li Ruobing drops the real bombshell. "I stole Wang's car." Wu Chen's calm evaporates instantly. He breaks out in a cold sweat. Of all the cars to steal, the one belonging to the infamous underworld boss Wang, a notoriously ruthless character. The awkwardness inside is shattered by a far more direct threat from outside the door. Three tough guys have them surrounded, the leader in a bright shirt snarling, "Open the door, or we're going to break it down." Li Ruobing peers through the peephole, utterly terrified by the murderous group on her doorstep. Meanwhile, a dark memory about Wang surfaces in Wu Chen's mind. Years ago, Wang's parents were crippled by thugs hired by a corrupt agent. Wang took brutal revenge, earning 3 years in prison himself. A man like that, intelligent, ruthless, forged in tragedy, is the most dangerous kind when he rises to power. In a dim underground hideout, plastered with wanted posters, the image of Wang comes into focus. He adjusts his glasses, his expression cold and sharp. After learning the full truth of his background, Li Ruobing is paralyzed with fear. The man who used his brains to rise from the streets after prison, now a dominant force in the Eastern underworld, is their enemy. "You've made an enemy of someone that powerful? You're dead," she cries out in despair. But Wu Chun simply looks back at her, a bottomless calm in his eyes. This is actually a very small problem. Power? Influence? To an ancient monster who has lived 1,000 years. These are just characters whose roles have long been written in a script. Borrowing the name of the Li family's young master yesterday was just personal. But if we mess this up, the entire underground world of Donghai will erupt into a bloody hunt, and countless people will die. Faced with the relentless, name-dropping fury of Wang Zhuangyuan, Li Ruobing is losing control on home turf for the first time. Beads of cold sweat form as she demands, "What are you going to do?" Staring down a crisis that could rewrite the underworld, Wu Chun just smirks and says, "Simple." The sheer nonchalance leaves Li Ruobing utterly baffled. What planet is this guy from? Then, with a confident flourish, he goes nuclear. "System, I want to use the time reset." A phantom clock materializes behind him, pulsing with power. Host is resetting for the first time on July 8th, 2020. Initiating. The temporal power freezes the world. Li Ruobing's fury, Wang Zhuangyuan's threat, every single plot, it all shatters into digital shards of light. Consuming one time point. Reset successful. The system's announcement is cold. Remaining points, 364,999. An almost infinite number of do-overs is now his ultimate trump card. The world snaps back to 7:01 a.m. In a hotel bed, Li Ruobing, fresh from their intimate night and now caught in her own time jump, immediately explodes. "Explain it." she screams, grabbing his shirt. Having broken free from a thousand-year loop only to reset back to this exact moment, Wu Chun has no time for drama. He moves close, finger gently pressing to her lips. No time to explain. Get dressed. Li Ruobing isn't fooled. A cold smile. I knew you wouldn't take responsibility, but I didn't think you'd ditch me this fast. Then the bombshell. The car she borrowed last night to ditch Ding Ruelong? Stolen. From Wang Zhuangyuan. His men are minutes away. She takes a perverse pleasure in watching his expression freeze. You might not be scared, but I'm a commoner. I can't afford to cross him. She thinks this is checkmate. She has no idea Wu Chun has already played through this exact scene last night. Trying to throw your weight around? Li Rubings igi gladas krems antidlamin. But then a shift. A hair flip. A provocative smirk. The unspoken message is clear. Beg. This isn't a plea for help. It's a queen's ultimatum. But Wu Chun? He doesn't flinch. He steps closer, dropping the ultimate bombshell. Like how you begged me last night? The air crackles. Part tension. Part something much more primal. The mask is shattered. Gone is the icy heiress. All that's left is raw, furious humiliation. Bastard, she screams, shoving with all her might against Wu Chen's bare chest, tears of rage streaming down. But look at him. He's still smirking. Her struggle, her pain, it's all part of the show he's directing. This isn't a fight. It's a god watching his prey's futile, final thrashing. Just as Li Ruobing hits rock bottom, Wu Chun drops the casual mic drop. Sorry to disappoint, but I know a guy, or rather a woman. Her mind reels. What woman? He lets the suspense hang, muscles on full display as he delivers the punchline. A woman with a lot of heart. The implications are huge. An old flame? A secret ace up his sleeve? After 1,000 years, Wu Chen's web of connections runs terrifyingly deep. New chapter, who's this? The cover shows Wu Chun, holding a sign that reads sentence, 1,000 years. The smile is haunting, but the man who broke the loop has no time for reflection. Cut to the action. City streets, screeching tires. Catch up. The boss's car is ahead. A high-stakes chase is on. Who's after him now? Barely dealt with the Leaf family, and already a new threat is on his tail. A Time Master's new day is never, ever boring. It just escalated. The pursuers are leaning out the window, guns blazing. Stop, or I'll kill you. Li Ruobing in the passenger seat is panicking. They have guns. But look at Wu Chun behind the wheel. That's a cold smirk. That's the fun part. He's not scared. He's excited. Calmly, he draws his own weapon. Get ready. The red sports car roars forward, tires screaming against asphalt. This isn't a getaway. This is the opening move in a hunt, and Wu Chun just switched roles from prey to predator. Fresh out of a 1,000-year time loop, Wu Chen's first move is to outright kidnap the heiress, Li Ruobing. It's a high-octane chase from the get-go, a red supercar tearing through the streets of Donghai with two groups of pursuers hot on its tail. Li Ruobing is furious and terrified, screaming at him to slow down. But Wu Chun is chillingly calm, stating that stopping means a certain death. When the phone connects, his opening salvo drops like a bomb, a warning from Mr. Li about a traitor in her midst who will sabotage her high-stakes bet. On the other end of the line, Li Ruobing's voice is laced with shock and suspicion. How could he possibly know about the bet? But Wu Chun sidesteps that entirely, hitting her with an even heavier card. He claims to have dirt on one of her brothers. A direct, devastating strike to her core. Completely cornered, Li Ruobing has no choice but to grit her teeth and agree to a face-to-face meeting in 30 minutes. But just as Wu Chun seems in total control, bang. A pursuing vehicle rams them from behind, an explosion of fire and metal engulfing the car's rear. Li Ruobing is injured in the impact. This chase just went from dangerous to deadly. The supercar is boxed in, a perfect trap closing shut. We're pinned. Li Ruobing yells in panic from the passenger seat. But who is Wu Chun? He's lived this day 1,000 times. He's the ultimate driver. A smirk touches his lips. They can't pinch us. In the next heartbeat, he slams the throttle into another dimension. The engine roars like a beast. The speedometer needle rockets past 160 kilometers per hour. Watch this, he says, his voice ice cold. Insane drift. With a savage whip-crack turn, the car screeches sideways, tires screaming against the asphalt. Amidst a chorus of panic screams, it somehow, impossibly, rips itself free from the jaws of the two pursuing SUVs. The pursuers are left dumbstruck. What kind of god-tier driving skills is this? In the pouring rain, the supercar transforms into a red phantom, slithering through the narrow confines of the elevated highway like an eel. It executes several impossibly close shaves, grinding against guardrails and spraying showers of sparks. Wang Zhuangyuan, the enraged lieutenant giving chase, screams into his comms. Is this time for a compliment? Get him. But their vehicles can't even get close to the red car's taillights. Inside the chasing cars, men are being thrown around, reduced to nothing but terrified screams of AHHH and Ichiopi. After the death-defying chase, the red supercar executes one final, perfect drift and comes to a smooth, controlled stop in front of an obscenely luxurious mansion. The roar of the engine fades into an eerie silence. Wu Chan turns his head and delivers the most chilling line in the most casual tone to a shell-shocked Li Ruobing. We got to your home. All her fear instantly crystallizes into pure, icy dread. She slowly turns to stare at him, her eyes wide with horror, her voice trembling. How do you know where I live? The negotiation hasn't even begun, and Wu Chun has already shattered any notion of home field advantage she might have had. 1,000 years of cycles traded for this peak racing skill. In the passenger seat, Li Ruobing tries to play it cool, teasing him about his driving, her cheeks flushed. Little does she know, for Wu Chun, this is just a basic skill honed through countless loops, often ending in fiery crashes. Looking at her, a girl with only one life, his warning carries the weight of eternity. Don't copy me. You only have one chance. The car speeds away, leaving the furious young mistress Li Ruobing on the curb, cursing this bastard who played her all night and still expects a call. But look at her eyes. That's not anger. It's infatuation and fluster. Wu Chen's masterful play of taking her number but never calling first has ensnared the formidable Li family heiress. Hook, line, and sinker. Back in her element, Li Ruobing's sharp mind kicks in. Something's off. That chance encounter at the bar, Wu Chen's perfectly timed rescue, his knowledge of her address. This isn't a coincidence. It's a calculated setup. Realization dawns, chilling her gaze. The trader who sold her out is close. 30 minutes later, at the foot of her fantasy fashion headquarters, a storm is brewing. Outside the president's office, the atmosphere crackles with tension. Li Ruobing calmly applies her lipstick, a pre-battle ritual. And the seemingly carefree man behind her? He's Li Ruotai, her younger brother. A man whose name alone can make East China tremble. Their deep sibling bond is the Li family's ultimate shield, and their enemy's worst nightmare. Behind this door lies the epicenter of power in the coming storm. The investigation is in full swing. Wu Chun is ushered into a sleek modern office. Before him, Li Ruobing lays out a file with chilling precision. Every detail of his ordinary life is laid bare. His university, his parents, their humble restaurant. It's a power play, a reminder. I know exactly who you are. But the man who's lived 1,000 lives just smiles. This mundane identity? Merely one of countless masks he's worn. Li Ruobing works fast. In no time, she has Wu Chen's entire background laid bare, right down to the name of his high school sister. But Wu Chun? He doesn't even flinch. In fact, he seems amused. All this from just a phone number? What she found was exactly what he allowed her to find. The real giveaway is her casual probe about the bet. How on earth would a normal person know about her most secret wager? Her eyes turn into slits of suspicion. With a sharp tear of the document, she demands the answer to the only question that matters now. Just who are you? You wanted to come clean? Perfect. Wu Chun was never here to play coy. Since you doubt I'm ordinary, fine. I'm not. You want to know what you really crave? It's not the money. It's the name of the traitor sleeping right under your nose. 10 million for an identity. Seems fair, no? Consider that a deposit. Why I really want? The title of being your fake boyfriend, publicly announced. How about it, Boss Lee? Not a bad deal, is it? He leans in, his proposition striking straight at the heart of her deepest fear and her carefully crafted facade. That's it. The bomb goes off. Make a deal? With a complete stranger? For info, I can't even verify. The sheer audacity. BM. A pistol is immediately pressed against Wu Chen's forehead. You think I'll agree? If you don't explain yourself, you won't leave here alive. But look at Wu Chun. No flinching, no dying. That infuriatingly calm smile is still on his face. He knows you'd really shoot. He knows. But that unfinished sentence he left hanging, that's the real game changer. But what? But nothing. The next moment, Wu Chun demonstrates what true dimensionality beyond her comprehension looks like. Li Ruobing doesn't even see him move, and her own gun is suddenly, inexplicably, useless. And Wu Chun, he whips out a pistol from nowhere. With a crisp click, a golden shell casing ejects into the air. The entire motion is fluid, effortless, and delivered with that same infuriatingly calm smile. The message is deafening. Watch closely, princess. While you were busy pointing a gun at me, I had at least a dozen ways to neutralize you. In that instant, All of Li Ruobing's fury is doused by a bucket of ice water, replaced by bone-deep dread. How did he just do that? Her pistol was under the table. Her mind reels. In 1,000 loops, how many times has Wu Chen done this? Unloaded magazines, stripped parts, reassembled firearms blindfolded. These skills are etched into his soul. The Ice Queen's reaction? Entirely within his forecast. You pull a gun? Sorry, but I turned it into a useless piece of metal before your finger even touched the trigger. This isn't a show of brute force. This is pure, unadulterated intellectual and informational dominance. With this single demonstration, his proposal of being the fake boyfriend instantly transforms from an arrogant nuisance into an invitation from an unfathomable force. Li Ruobing realizes, with chilling clarity, that she might have just attracted the attention of a true monster. Li Ruobing's knuckles were white as she gripped the pistol, her last line of defense, her final psychological barrier. But before she could even process a threat, Wu Chen moved. In a blur she couldn't even track, he reached out and casually, almost dismissively, removed the magazine right from under her nose. The cold metal object in her hand was now utterly useless, a dead weight. He dropped the empty gun onto the desk with a final, heavy click. Leaning forward, he held her shaken gaze, a faint, knowing smile on his lips. "Ms. Lee, trust my information-gathering skills. I'm here for a simple transaction." In that moment, when her power play disintegrated, the first crack appeared in the facade of the untouchable heiress. Think disarming her gun was the power move? The real dismantling has just begun. Wu Chen's weapon wasn't his firearm, but his words. Each syllable he uttered was a scalpel, cutting open the raw, unspoken wounds hidden beneath Li Ruobing's polished exterior. The eldest daughter, yet constantly undervalued within your own family, living in your brother's shadow, even your own mother pushing you into a marriage for stability. This wasn't negotiation, it was a public dissection. He stripped away every layer of her carefully constructed armor, forcing her to face the humiliating truths she spent a lifetime burying. Li Ruobing crossed her arms, a picture of defiant strength, but her tightly pressed lips and the tremor in her eyes behind those glasses told a different story. He didn't need a bullet. His words hit with devastating precision. Think that's the worst of it? The main event is just starting. Wu Chen watches the color drain from Li Ruobing's face. He leans in, his voice dropping to a low, seismic rumble. "You think your wager with him is just business? Ding Ruelong took someone from your inner circle. Someone you trust. He turned them into a sleeper agent, a dagger aimed right at your heart. And on the day of your product launch, they will destroy everything you've built. Boom. This isn't just losing a bet. This is total annihilation. A leak of your core secrets, your life's work sabotaged, your family's trust obliterated. This is erasing you." Wu Chen finishes, his gaze holding hers, silently asking the ultimate question. The once unshakable Li Ruobing is left speechless, drowning in a sea of terrifying implication. Rock bottom? No, it's the launch pad for a desperate counterattack. Li Ruobing, the queen stripped of all her secrets and pride, explodes into action. A check for $1 million is slapped down. It's not payment. It's a lifeline thrown to the only man who has seen the entire board. She points a trembling finger at Wu Chen, her voice laced with fury and raw desperation. "Tell me, who is the traitor?" And Wu Chen? He just leans back, that infuriatingly calm smile returning to his face. A simple nod. "I will." But that look in his eyes says it all. He's not in it for the money. This deal, this crisis, is his golden ticket into her world. Li Ruobing's fist slams onto the desk. It's not frustration. It's a declaration of war. The fake boyfriend pact is sealed. The hunter and the hunted have just switched roles. A time-walking strategist and a cornered queen are now allies. Let the real games begin. Feng Yin, the top-notch mole planted by Ding Ruelong for 8 years, is still pretending to be innocent. He hands over a so-called important document for Li Ruobing to sign. But he couldn't possibly imagine there's a monster in the office who knows every single card in his hand. Wu Chen. Wu Chen even knows which Swiss bank that $5 million hush money is stashed in. In the next second, Wu Chen explodes. He grabs Feng Yan's hair and slams it into the desk. It's him. Li Ruobing is instantly dumbfounded. She could never have guessed her most trusted senior assistant is the biggest traitor of all. Meanwhile, in another corner of the city, someone is doing cleanup work for Li Ruobing. Her younger brother, Li Ruotai, the one who rules the underworld, is no pushover. He's grabbing another lackey by the hair, pressing a cold gun barrel against their skull. "Tell me, what's that $5 million in your Swiss bank account for?" The guy is still trying to deny it, screaming about a misunderstanding. And on the other end of the line, Li Ruobing's phone explodes with a call. The caller ID flashes that dreaded name, Ding Ruelong. His chilling voice comes through. Did you get the information? This is a meticulously calculated move. Ding Ruelong is checking whether the pawn he threw out has successfully deceived his prey. The mole is now lying at her feet, but Li Ruobing is eerily calm. There's no hysteria. Instead, she crosses her arms and lists Feng Yan's contributions over the years, one by one. All the money you made, both openly and under the table. I turn a blind eye. You were with me for so long, but I never imagined you'd sell me out for a mere $5 million. Is it laughable or just pathetic? This is the true face of the Li family heiress, a calmness that's downright terrifying. And Wu Chun is standing to the side. He's not just helping her clean house. He's about to drop an even heavier bombshell. He coldly rips open the family wound Li Ruobing never dared to think about. Did you know? Your mother back then never wanted you to marry Ding Ruelong. She was forced by your grandfather, by the family's interests, pushed out like a sacrificial lamb. The truth is out, brutal and bloody. Feng Yin, kneeling on the floor, is scared out of his mind, capable only of begging and kowtowing. Li Ruobing hands the power of life and death over to Wu Chun. But in the end, Wu Chun just says dismissively, "Get lost. Don't ever let me see you again." He let him go, just like that. Watching Feng Yin scramble away, Wu Chun himself is surprised. I thought you were going to have him killed. But Li Ruobing smiles. It's an indescribable smile. Did you think I'd dirty my own hands? Cement shoes at the bottom of the river. That's Ding Ruelong's style. Her eyes turn cold. When dealing with traitors, the most sophisticated method isn't killing them. It's letting them live like dogs, forever trapped in the shadows of panic and betrayal, tormented day and night. The air in the office grows even icier. Feng Yin, the sacrifice pawn, is gone. But now Li Ruobing's scrutinizing blade is aimed squarely at Wu Chun. Honestly, I'm most suspicious of you, she says flatly. Weren't you sent by Ding Ruelong? Feng Yin was just a disposable piece he threw out to make me trust you. Will Wu Chun, a man who's planned for 1,000 years, fear this level of testing? He even smiles, giving the young heiress's shoulder a light pat. You are really suspicious. But I have a cure for that. Very simple. Let me be your fake boyfriend. He leans in. So, is this treatment plan explosive enough for you? Imprisoned in time for 1,000 long years, Wu Chun has finally broken free. Holding the sign that records his sentence, with the shattered glass behind him mirroring a broken cage, he knows he now holds not just time, but fate itself in his hands. His first target? The icy Li Ruobing, the powerful heiress sitting across from him. Li Ruobing is no damsel in distress. With a gun in hand, she coolly informs Wu Chun about the 3 fake boyfriends who came before him, all destroyed by her rival and fiancé, Ding Ruelong. She expects fear, but all she gets from Wu Chun is a knowing, almost amused, "I know." With a gun pressed to his temple, Wu Chun actually smiles. After 1,000 years of loops, he's seen it all. He sees right through Li Ruobing's bluff, calling out her theatrics. In that instant, the dynamic flips completely. Plot twist. Instead of pulling the trigger, Li Ruobing confesses, "I really like you." The dangerous spark ignites. She pulls Wu Chun into an intimate couple photo, a direct provocation to her enemy, Ding Ruelong, and a binding contract pulling Wu Chun into her world. The time prisoner is now the official boyfriend and personal assistant to the Li heiress. With his new identity secured, the real game begins. As his girlfriend, Li Ruobing immediately issues the first challenge. She points him towards her problematic brother's territory, East China Sea Crown, a place entangled in deep, illicit scandals that have even drawn official scrutiny. It's not just background info, it's a test. Is this man who fell from the sky the real deal? Or just another pawn for Ding Ruelong to crush? Wu Chun drops the first bombshell. The entire criminal network is going down within a month. The mask of the icy queen, Li Ruobing, finally cracks as her entire empire, and her own brother, is threatened. He's not just predicting an arrest. He's predicting that her family will be forced to sacrifice their own heir. Her trembling voice betrays a terror she's never shown before. This isn't just a problem. This is an existential threat. Pressure builds on all sides. Wang Zhuangyuan, Li Ruotai's mad dog enforcer, is absolutely fuming. He lays out the evidence of Wu Chen's crimes, beating his men, stealing his car, and worst of all, daring to use his boss's name. He punctuates his rage by spinning a knife in his hand. For a man like him, this isn't just an insult. It's a declaration of war that demands a bloody resolution. But a chilling doubt creeps in. Li Ruotai's right-hand man, Zhao Guozi, points out the impossible. How did this nobody, Wu Chun, get his private number? And how on earth could he know about the top secret May rally? Something doesn't add up. Sitting calmly in his office, Li Ruotai listens. He doesn't care about the mystery. His only order is absolute. Find him and bring him here. He'll take care of the rest personally. Just as these two armed men are stewing in their fury, planning vengeance against Wu Chun, the door clicks open. From the floor up, we see a pair of legs in pink stockings and heels striding in with absolute authority. Pull back to reveal the person everyone feared, Li Ruobing herself. The queen has entered the room, and the two furious subordinates freeze in their tracks. Going after her project? They just got the full force of her attention. Li Ruotai, the underground prince who makes all of Donghai tremble, was puffing smoke and looking invincible in his domain. But the moment his sister Li Ruobing materialized in his office, that arrogant aura evaporated instantly. With just one word, brother, the tyrant shrunk into a nervous, fidgeting schoolboy before her. The tense sibling standoff was shattered when Wu Chun waltzed in. And get this, his opening move? Casually tossing the car keys to the fuming Wang Zhuangyuan with a borrowed your car yesterday. Had some fun. The entire room froze. Wang Zhuangyuan recognized him instantly. The very same guy who had the nerve to use Li Ruotai's name. He pointed a trembling finger, ready for his boss's order to tear this imposter apart. Seeing his sister personally escort this stranger in, Li Ruotai's brain short-circuited. Memories flooded back. The fiercely protective sister from childhood who'd beat up his bullies, and the same sister who'd chase him around and knock some sense into his head. That blend of reverence and fear is bone deep. Now, faced with this man by her side, whose identity is a complete mystery, sweat dripped as Li Ruotai's mind raced. Sis, who the hell is this guy? Li Ruobing's patience snapped. In full view of his entire crew, she strode forward and, *twist*, grabbed her brother Li Ruotai by the ear. The mighty underground boss whimpered in pain. Then, she dropped the bombshell that left everyone gasping for air. Open your eyes. This kid here? He's your brother-in-law. Brother-in-law? The word exploded in the room like a grenade. Wang Zhuangyuan's menacing glare shattered into pure shock, his mouth hanging open, muttering brother-in-law, brother-in-law. On loop, Li Ruotai himself was reeling, drenched in a cold sweat. His untouchable, Ice Queen sister, who dismissed every suitor. Had she actually found someone? And she was introducing him like this? Li Ruotai, the family's reckless second-generation heir, slams the table, accusing his sister of pulling the fake boyfriend stunt again and questioning the seemingly ordinary guy she picked. Li Ruobing, cool as a cucumber, just tilts her head and shoots back, demanding a good reason for his disapproval. Then, in a flash, she grabs the guy in the blue jacket, Wu Chun himself, and puts on a show, claiming she's feeling a bit under the weather lately. The plot thickens instantly with this theatrical move. Wu Chun closes in on Li Ruobing, a mocking smile on his lips, and pins all the blame squarely on her. It's all your fault. Her fist is clenched tight against his chest, a desperate gesture of contained fury and helplessness. In that charged moment, there's no denial, no easy escape, just the raw tension of two strong wills clashing. Under the rainy night sky, Wu Chun presses his psychological attack, whispering to Li Ruobing if she's overreacting out of fear that her rival, Ding Ruelong, might kill her. Her reddened, panicked eyes betray her denial. Meanwhile, caught in the downpour at a distance, her brother Li Ruotai stands frozen in shock, overhearing the stranger casually drop their biggest enemy's name. His whole world just got flipped upside down. Scene shift/flashback or internal projection. The mood shifts dramatically to a fairy tale scene. Two young maidens laugh and make heart signs amidst falling blossoms, a vision of pure friendship. This stands in stark, poignant contrast to the cutthroat reality. It's likely a fleeting glimpse of Li Ruobing's inner longing for something simple and true, a fragile moment of softness that the harsh rain of the present is about to wash away.